My name is Leebobawitz, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. We last left off, we wrote a poem that I think impressed Yuri, because we're talking to her mainly now. But we'll see. Yuri, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I'd put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah? Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just let me... Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry! I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I used to do the same thing in high school. I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I instead use my right hand to hold open the book. I guess this makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same thing with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me, as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry! I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. She's really cute. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes a page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her as she catches it with her own thumb. Hey, Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but the main chapter kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second-guesses all the things that she says and does. Like, she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything. They're kind of reminiscent of your mannerisms. I see. You remain silent for a moment. But Leebobawitz, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. This is so embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I meant it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Alright, everyone! I think it's about time to share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much preference either way. In that case, I'll read it a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's a good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters on your own time. Alright! I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Bookmarked! Slip a paper! Or be a heathen and fold the page. Either way, you can do something. Don't just close it. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah? My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. So Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. We're already making good progress with Yuri, so let's keep going. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion, to be fair. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. Really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Huh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? I was just writing out of my butt. Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick up a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is both the style and expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the clubs gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if it's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickeningly blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry. I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking of that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was very descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you liked it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about ghosts at all, Leebobawitz.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more, solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
Huh? It's nothing, really. Yours is impressive too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Leebobawitz.
Me too. Who should we share our poem with next? Well, you'll find out in the next episode. Hope you're enjoying Doki Doki Literature Club. Again, nothing too spooky happened, but I'm seeing the groundwork be laid. So hopefully you'll stick around for this adventure. If you're liking this series, go ahead and show that like button some love. I truly appreciate it. And, as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. And if it's night wherever you are, I hope you have a wonderful night. See you soon. Bye!